As soon as Bull Demon landed on the peak of the black pillar, the impact was so intense that it could be seen from the ground below. Thanks to Bull Demon's landing, the kangaroo was able to retreat, though it still slid a great distance, its body racked with pain at every movement, blood dripping steadily. It realized that, due to the shift in the battle, it was now relegated to the sidelines as Bull Demon took the stage. Before and after joining the Misty Mountains, the kangaroo had always been famous for its arrogance. It bowed to no one but its master, standing above countless others. It usually fought alone, relying neither on assistance nor strategy to secure victory. But today was different. It had stepped back a few paces, looking at the massive, shaggy form of Bull Demon, who wielded a molten lava axe, its blade glowing red-hot as if fresh from a forge. Bull Demon's sudden appearance forced Zom to release the kangaroo immediately. Yet, judging by Zom's posture, it was still in perfect condition, merely caught off guard. After all, just a mere ingredient for dried beef had dared to launch a sneak attack against it. However, it was Bull Demon who spoke first. Just seeing Zom's scarred face was enough to irritate it. "You again," Bull Demon growled. "Last time, my master couldn't finish you off. You should cherish your miserable life while you still have it. Ha! You arrogant fool!" Zom threw its head back, laughing like a lunatic who had just heard the funniest joke of its life. "Even exotic tree couldn't kill me! And now, some lowly beast like you dares to lecture me? Let me enlighten you, then!" Zom spread its arms wide, voice booming with madness. "First, I'll reduce this place to ashes. What I can't have, either can any of you. And after that, I'll present your heads to exotic tree." Zom's fury was unmistakable, each word dripping with rage. Memories of the day it was nearly beaten to death in its own territory flooded back, making its blood boil. Just as it was about to hurl another insult, Bull Demon raised a hand, cutting it off. "Come at me," it said, as if there was no need to hear any more nonsense. Despite the distance between them, the moment Bull Demon raised its hand, Zom felt an invisible weight pressing down on every inch of its body. Its fur and skin seemed ready to peel away, its head forced downward. It had to strain immensely just to keep its neck steady. Gravity, impossible. A mere beast possessing such power? Seeing Zom partially subdued by its gravitational force, Bull Demon let out a satisfied roar. "You want to take our heads? Then defeat me first." It raised a single finger, signaling that this was only the beginning. A creature as tenacious as Zom would never cower from a mere weight pressing down on it, with fists clenched and rage burning in its eyes. It surged forward, seemingly unaffected. The kangaroo, having experienced Bull Demon's supergravity firsthand, was stunned to see the so-called war god moving at full speed despite the oppressive force. Zom didn't appear hindered at all. Impressive. But the problem was, Bull Demon hadn't even used its full power yet. It merely stood its ground and increased the gravity by another 30%. Zom's steps suddenly became heavy as if chains of lead had wrapped around its ankles. It collapsed onto one knee, still a fair distance from Bull Demon. Zom, gritting its teeth, glared at its opponent. "Damn it, the gravity's increasing again, isn't it?" "Of course," Bull Demon sneered. Its overwhelming gravitational abilities made it smug. Stepping closer, it snorted, looking down at its struggling foe with contempt. "So even a war god kneels, huh?" Zom trembled with rage. It wanted to retort, but even its jaw was clenched shut under the crushing weight. Since its fight with the kangaroo, it had already activated its divine form. It was more than ready to brawl with Bull Demon. But with its legs locked down, it felt utterly restrained. Before it could utter another curse, a massive fist came crashing down on its skull. Crack! The impact split its head armor with a long, jagged fracture. The ground beneath them rumbled violently, cracking into concentric rings with the point of impact at the center. The kangaroo, watching from a safe distance, instinctively shielded its face from the flying debris. But retreat? No way. It remained close enough to intervene if its ally needed backup. It had a temper, sure, but it played fair, never abandoning a fight. Bull Demon swung its battle axe high, then brought it down in one swift motion, so fast that the blade left behind a dazzling violet arc. With every muscle tensed and mouth stretched in a battle cry, It unleashed the axe's full force onto the kneeling war god. A shockwave of dust erupted. Rippling outward in massive waves, Zam was driven into the black pillar's peak, which now bore deep, jagged fractures, yet despite the overwhelming power, Bull Demon soon noticed something clawing its way out of the smoke, too close to dodge. It shrieked in surprise as a blinding golden light exploded before its eyes, like someone had just shoved a high-powered floodlight in its face. In that split second, purely on instinct, Bull Demon jerked its head to the side just in time. The golden streak shot past, narrowly missing, soaring skyward and forming multiple miniature suns in the air. They were spheres of spiritual energy, crackling with electricity, their intensity radiating so fiercely that even their colors shone at an extreme brilliance. Yet, all alone, Zam created an entire axis of power around himself, standing at the center, controlling them effortlessly. An awe-inspiring sight. It turned out that after his resurrection, Zam had gained several new abilities along with a new body to ensure he wouldn't be overwhelmed like before. Who was Bull Demon? He had faced countless formidable opponents across different battlefields. The axe in his hand acted like a lightning rod, absorbing Bull Demon's power and radiating it in all directions. The force of it stirred the space around him violently, the whirling sound intensifying, reaching its peak just as Zam unleashed a barrage of energy spheres forward. It was a one-on-one battle, yet both chose to wield massive, devastating attacks, as if they were going all in. Bull Demon roared, the massive muscles in his arm flexing as he swung his axe with tremendous force, striking the energy sphere dead on. Despite its enormous size, the sphere caved in upon impact, its surface slightly elastic before rebounding toward its master. Zam hadn't expected such resistance. His own fireball ricocheted straight back at him, forcing him to counter his own attack, infuriating him. If worst came to worst, he'd simply cut them apart. Why the hell were they bouncing back at him? While defending, Zam intensified his offensive, overwhelming Bull Demon with sheer numbers. After all, Bull Demon wasn't blocking with his bare hands. He only had one axe to counter with. Thud, 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 Bull Demon swung his axe relentlessly. But as the fireballs came in rapid succession, he was forced to pause slightly between each strike. The energy spheres rebounded chaotically, stacking up against one another, pushing back against Bull Demon before exploding all at once, some smaller, some larger, but all detonating simultaneously. The fierce explosion obliterated Bull Demon's figure from view. Meanwhile, the kangaroo warrior was too busy marveling at the sheer force washing over him, overwhelmingly powerful. At this moment, if Bull Demon failed to kill Zam, he was as good as dead. The gaping wound in his chest remained. Suddenly, an eerie wind swept over the pillar's peak, clearing the thick dust above while the lower levels remained densely clouded. Bull Demon stood firm, gripping his axe tightly, gazing into the swirling dust ahead, almost as if he knew Zam was staring back at him. Impressive, he muttered. Feeling the deep imprint of the attack on his body, Zam emerged from the haze directly across from Bull Demon. You're stronger than the weakling beside you, he remarked. Their brief exchange ultimately singled out the kangaroo as nothing more than a low-tier combatant unworthy of comparison. Yet, the kangaroo didn't take offense. He only cared that Zam was still alive, and not just alive, but thriving. Even against Bull Demon, Zam was completely unscathed. I am the second strongest beast of the Misty Mountains, Bull Demon declared. After all this fighting, only now did Bull Demon formally point his weapon at his opponent and introduce himself. If it was introduction time, Zam, the talkative one, wouldn't miss the chance. Clenching his fist, he replied flatly, I am the god of this world, the seventh-ranked god. But now my power is nearly on par with the sixth. Crushing a piece of the ground beneath him, Zam's entire being suddenly flared with an abnormal energy surge. His appearance changed, and the spiritual force radiating from him underwent a distinct transformation. At that moment, a distant god perished, and his power was redistributed among the remaining ones. Bull Demon narrowed his eyes, analyzing the situation, pondering the cause. Did this guy have more transformations up his sleeve? He remained silent, allowing Zam to continue his grand speech. Now, in Zam's hand, a long streak of light had formed, gripped as if it were a weapon. You and I share one similarity. Our weapons are both axes, Zam said, raising his glowing weapon. Come on, round 2. At this moment, calling Zam a war god would be laughable. He looked more like a demon straight out of hell, many would agree. Yet, despite the intimidating transformation, Bull Demon still charged forward. Enough talking. If you want to fight, then fight. Bull Demon swung his axe directly at Zam's, the collision producing a violent burst of sparks. The two clashed repeatedly, either yielding, either showing signs of being overpowered. Seeing this, Bull Demon gladly infused an additional 40% gravity into his attacks. The ground beneath them cracked and shattered into fragments of varying sizes. Both fighters immediately leaped into the air, continuing their fierce duel without losing an inch. It was then that Zam spotted an opening, delivering a punch straight into Bull Demon's face, though it wasn't particularly painful or damaging. It shocked Bull Demon. His gravity, a force feared by many, had no effect on this guy. His bewildered expression didn't go unnoticed. Zam clenched his fist against Bull Demon's face, then burst into laughter. Your combat strength is at superhuman rank 5, early stage, yet your abilities are this strong, Zam remarked. Ever considered becoming my subordinate? He extended his hand in invitation. For the first time, Bull Demon found himself openly recruited by someone. If you recall, Bull Demon was never officially enlisted into the Misty Mountains. He was among those taken in out of necessity, and he remained simply out of convenience. Later, he swore loyalty only because Yuziyu granted him overwhelming power. But if Zam could offer him power beyond his imagination, would he betray Yuziyu and join the enemy instead?